Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
What's up?
We're going to talk about Christmas because that's relevant. And it just happened.
And it's not a Q&A.
Yeah, I started the Q&A before I remembered that there was a lot to talk about.
Well, I wasn't sure if we wanted to just do Q&A for the rest of this and talk about shit on Bloodborne.
Then we can talk about whatever on Bloodborne. We have plenty of material to last us.
Do we?
Yeah. Anyway, Christmas just passed in terms of this recording. So, how was your Christmas, Vic? What'd you get? Man. What happened?
I got some clothes. Mostly good clothes.
So, I think we talked about this on the show before, that our dad, as of like 2 years ago, started just buying everyone's stuff on Amazon.
Yeah. And
just picking whatever he wants, like whatever he thinks will be interesting. But then, like, last year, a lot of what he got ended up being stuff that was not a good idea. Like,
well, he got a bunch of clothes that didn't fit
for you,
and so so I had to return everything.
For Victor, he had bought a bunch of stuff from like Chinese sellers, and it was like all the wrongs, like it's a medium, but it's Chinese medium, which
he went for
small.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, and then like he got me this brewing kit that like was a cool idea, but brewing is a lot harder than I think he realized, and takes we don't even have like temperature controlled environment for storing alcohol that you're making and stuff like that. So like as soon as I read the instructions, it quickly became apparent it was going to be way too hard, and we never ended up doing anything with the brewing equipment. And a piece of it was broken for some reason, but we didn't notice till it was too late. So yeah, and I had torn up the box because that night, on Christmas night, I'd gotten super wasted, and then a lot of drama went down with our old friend Derek, and then I, in a drunken rage, thrashed that box into a million pieces, so we couldn't send back the thing in the box. So my dad was like, yeah, this year I'm not going to buy, like, dumb shit that nobody wants. I'm going to, try to figure out what they want first. So, but Victor is impossible to buy for, because Victor didn't have anything specifically like any big things he wanted, and all he had mentioned on this show was that he had wanted like clothes and shoes, like specifically shoes.
Yeah, I told him I wanted shoes.
Right. So
which he did give me a nice pair of like business shoes.
Right.
That are awesome, because the things he got me a black cardigan, he got me a gray sweater, he got me a pair of business shoes that are cool. The sweaters are all right. I'm not a big sweater fan, but I think they're cool enough. They were like really expensive.
He got
so, they are very quality.
He got like cardigan-esque things because you wear cardigans,
which I don't. But
historically, you used to wear that cardigan all the time.
I wore the one cardigan until it got worn out, but then I haven't liked any other cardigans.
I thought the only reason you stopped wearing it is because you've left it in my room for 6
No, it's because it's old and worn out, and it's all stretched out, so it's not comfortable anymore. And then, like, the cardigan they had got me the year before, I didn't really end up liking that much. And, like, I didn't end up wearing it because it just felt weird on me.
I see.
But this cardigan seems all right.
You have no idea how much I had to talk Dad out of getting you a jacket because you had just bought a jacket that you were talking...
I want a jacket.
What? Why the fuck don't you talk about the things you want?
No, because I actually had plugged this on Dad's birthday when I got on the Van socks, because I was talking about how I went to the Van store and I needed a coat. But then, like, the clothes in there are too expensive for me. And I'd actually, like, somewhat plugged that as, like, I wonder what they'll get me for Christmas kind of thing.
The funny thing is, everything that Dad thought to get Victor was stuff I told him not to, and then Victor later says that he would have been down for.
Because I had just got a really cheap jacket at Marshall's.
But you've been talking about how great it is!
I mean, it's alright, but I kind of want a coat.
Why didn't you fucking say something? Look. This is, okay, Victor was like, I want to see what Dad'll come up with.
Well, he would have come up with a coat if you didn't tell him not to get one.
Well, no, because first of all, Dad's first idea was he wanted to buy a drone for Victor to use. Yes. A camera mount drone, right? And, like, I was like, Victor has mentioned, like, how cool it would be to have a drone before, but I don't think he'd have any practical application for it, because... Yeah. Like, with most, like, sort of gimmicky equipment, and this has happened to us in the past, that you'll get something because it seems like a cool idea, but then you have to actually come up with reasons to use it. Like, it's not, like, having a drone isn't something that if you had, like, a normal script, you'd be able to work your drone shot into it. You'd have to write a script around the drone shot. So it's like, like it felt like the kind of thing that you'd play around with for a few days and then never use in a practical application.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, let's not worry about the drone. Like, and Victor said countless times not to buy any new equipment because he's like, all the equipment that's worthwhile costs thousands of dollars, so I'm just not going to buy equipment anymore. So I was like, whatever you do, don't buy him equipment, unless you've run it by him first, right? And so I talk him out of the drone, and I'm like, all Victor wants is clothes and shoes. So then Dad starts looking online, and he's like, first he wanted to get you a watch, and I was like, don't get him a watch, it'll drive him crazy.
Which he asked me about, and I was like,
right.
Yeah, I kind of did want to watch, but then I thought about it, and I was like, I probably won't end up enjoying it,
Right, I know.
It's funny that it's another thing that I did, like, kind of want.
Well, I was like, I know Victor, he'll touch it all the time, it'll drive him insane, and he's on his phone literally 24/7.
Which, okay, that pissed me off that you said that, because, why do people wear watches, Conrad? Because they need to check the time at work.
Right.
Where you can't be on your phone.
Well,
which I do when I work. I don't get to see my phone for 7 hours.
Do people not check their phone for the time at work?
No, because it looks like you're texting. I don't bring out my phone at work. I just don't even think about the time because I don't want to bring my phone out.
Well,
it's much easier to have a watch, so if someone's like talking to you, you can look at the time. Because you pulled out your phone now.
Why didn't you say all this when Dad asked you if you wanted to watch?
Well, I did tell him that later, but I agreed that I'd probably mess with it all the time because he had texted me about it saying that you said I'd mess with it all the time, and then I was thinking like, I guess he's right.
Yeah, you'd mess with it constantly, and I was like, he checks his phone 24/7, so there's no sense. And I was like, nobody uses watches anymore. Like
everyone does. People who work use watches.
I've talked to people who work who say watches are dead and stuff like that. That they don't matter
Hope has
anymore.
to use a watch because she can't check her phone at work.
Well,
she has another friend who uses a watch.
In my world, watches have no purpose.
Sometimes
anymore.
you can't check your phone,
So then he was like,
exactly, in your world where you don't leave your house.
So then he was like, what about a jacket? And I was like, Victor just bought a jacket, and he keeps talking about how great his jacket is. Because you had literally told me like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, you were like, oh my god, this jacket's actually warm. It's so cool. And I was like, he just bought a jacket. So don't get him a jacket. I was like, the only thing he said he wanted was shoes. And, he can always use more clothes. But then he was like, well, I'm not buying him any pants because I know he has plenty of pants.
Which is also something I don't have.
So, yeah, again, you could have...
Would have loved to have
everything could have been fixed if you had just ever just told Dad, here's what I want, here's what I have, But, like, instead, I end up being the guide to what to get Victor. So all these things that you could have had that you apparently wanted... which the thing is, though, that even with the stuff you do want, you always want something very specific. So it wouldn't have been the right jacket. It wouldn't have been the right... Which is why I shouldn't
have even told him to get me shoes, which he did right with the business shoes, but then it was like, he got me these fucking... the gray leather Converse.
Because he thought they were awesome.
He thought they were awesome, but he was like, oh, for myself, I would have gotten the black ones. And it's like, yeah, because black leather looks all right, whereas gray leather looks fucking stupid.
Right.
Like, it looks like you have elephant feet, and it's like, I'm sorry, but this is really stupid looking. I felt so bad.
Well, yeah, this is what happens when you don't, ask for specifics. Because, for me...
the point to me was, not asking for specifics.
But the reason that he wanted it was because last year he had to take everything back, and he didn't want to have to take everything back
last year
again.
He had to take everything back because it wasn't the right size.
Right,
Even though he makes it seem like I didn't like any of it. And it's like, well, no, none of it fit. You ordered from a Chinese fucking website in a Chinese medium in an American small. Like, don't fucking blame my shitty taste for this. It's annoying because he acts like he doesn't care. Like, he always goes like, oh yeah, I don't mind, you take it back or whatever. But then, last year he had posted a fucking picture of me reordering stuff.
Right.
And, that has always fucking pissed me off because it's like, okay, you said you didn't care, and now you're posting a picture oh, look at my shitty son who's taking back all the thoughtful gifts I got him.
I'm sure
I feel great about
just
that.
Thought it was funny.
He did think it was funny, but it feels like Dad doesn't know what passive aggression is, and this is his first time experiencing it. I'm just fuck, man, I'm sorry.
That's pretty funny.
I will wear the fucking shoes if it hurts your feelings,
So for me, he got me... Because he was asking everybody, what do you want? And I was like, I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, the only thing I really could use that I wouldn't buy myself, like in the next week or so, is a ton of acoustic paneling.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to convert my closet into like a full-on studio, and I want to soundproof it, and it's like having, more soundproofing equipment. It costs a lot to buy a ton of soundproofing, so I was like, I would like some soundproofing. So he got me like a fuckload of soundproofing tiles and I coated my closet with them, although I need to get something better to attach them to the walls with, because the stuff we had was shit. And then he got me this thing that like wraps around the back of your microphone and like is like a padded thing, which is funny because I didn't ask for that, and like it's the kind of thing that I kind of had thought about buying it myself a few times just to like see how it works. But the reason I never bought it is that it's so tall you can't see past it.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting, because the way I had my closet set up was that I was sitting right in front of my microphone and the monitor was right behind it, and I would read off of the monitor. This thing completely blocks the view of the monitor.
Yeah.
So I had to reorganize my closet so the monitor's above the microphone, which is, a lot less comfortable to read off of and could be a problem in the future. And also the thing is so heavy that if I want to stand up and record, the pole just sinks down. Like, I mean, I have a kind of cheap, shitty mic pole, so it just falls. But I was like, this is still useful. It's still something that I had thought about buying, and like I like testing equipment. Like, I like buying equipment just to see if it'll help, just to see if it'll work. Like, for instance, this 2 microphone setup, I'd wanted for a long time to buy a second XLR cable so I could plug in 2 mics, and now we're testing it out and seeing how it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully the audio isn't so shitty that you've hated these last few episodes.
Woo!
And then I had also talked about how I'd considered buying a rice cooker for my room, and he bought me a rice cooker for my room.
Oh, that what that was?
Yeah, you didn't.
Let's see.
You haven't. Didn't I offer you rice yesterday?
No.
Didn't you come into my room and I said you want rice? Because I said it to everybody who came in here. But yeah, he got me a rice cooker, which are apparently a lot more expensive than I thought.
Dude, those things are pricey as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just thought I'd like maybe I'll throw down like $50 and get a rice cooker.
So like,
apparently it's not quite like
Donson's
that.
family had like all of them pitched in.
Donson said his was a $500 rice cooker.
Yeah.
But he also said his like does it all, and it's like the most reliable.
They like all
possible.
pitched in to get their mom a fucking rice cooker.
It's incredible. And then mom got me this stupid megaphone toy that I wanted from a candy store. It's like, at some point I'll play with it on the show.
Fucking annoying.
It's gonna annoy the shit out of everybody.
I was just like, why the fuck did you buy this for him?
Well, because I wanted it really badly, and I'm glad she got it. Because I had this IMT Pain microphone for a long time, and
that you love.
Yeah,
because you like to play with the most annoying things in the universe.
Well, it makes good noises for making music. Like I was able to find ways to make like really interesting sounds with it, and then I'd make songs with those sounds, and then it broke because I just used it too much and it was a piece of shit toy. So then I saw this one at the store and I was like, oh, a new piece of shit toy I can experiment with until it breaks. And but it was like $20 and I didn't want to pay for it. And then mom got it for me for Christmas and I was like, all right. It's like all of my gifts were like very, like things that I had said I wanted, and I got them, and it was great. Shade got an electronic drum kit, which is something he's wanted for a long time, really cool. I've also wanted an electronic drum kit, so I want to play with it, because I just think it's way more convenient to learn how to play on something that's not loud as fuck,
And the ones in Guitar Center sound really, really nice, like real drum kits, which, his was cheaper than that, so... But it sounds alright.
I don't think the point of it is to play it for a fucking live show, though. It's to learn how to play drums on.
But I mean, like, part of why I never wanted to play our drum kit is because it sounds like shit. And so it doesn't sound like you're playing real drums,
Ours is like a training drum kit.
And it always... Like, I never understood why it sounded like shit growing up.
It's just because it's not like that's the thing is, I mean, we've said this a million times ourselves that if you want good equipment, you can't get the cheap one. Like if you fucking buy a Blue Yeti microphone,
that's why it's cheap, because it sucks.
There's a reason it's entry tier. There's a reason it's you're not gonna get too far with it. Like You gotta get the expensive shit, and that's what I've learned as an adult, and that's what I've been doing. That's why I've bought myself you know,
God damn it!
I bought a $500 chair, a $1,000 bed, and a $300 microphone, so I could like never have to replace them. I'd like to buy another microphone to replace the one that you're using right now, since you're using my old one, and I could have two that are as good as this one, if not an even better one. But who knows? So I guess that's all of what we got for Christmas.
I got me and Hope exchanged gifts, and I am excited about that because she got me a vintage tape measure. Because I was talking when we were in Savannah, we had gone in like a cool like antique store, and I saw like a vintage tape measure, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to have like vintage gear, you know, for my first AC work, because I use stuff like that. It would just be like, oh, I have like this awesome aesthetic like stuff, and I just thought that was a cool idea, and she remembered that and got me a vintage tape measure. Just super cool.
I hope there's still people who play the drink when we say aesthetic game on this show.
Certainly. And then I had got her like way too many gifts, but the one I was most excited about is that I had found this Cars wrapping paper, and I decided to cut just the redneck car out, and so I cut out all these squares of the redneck car and made my own wrapping paper out of just the redneck car from Cars. And I found that to be
fucking Larry
like
the
I had so
car.
much fucking fun spending an hour making my own fucking Larry the Cable Car wrapping paper.
My God.
And I had a blast.
It looked fantastic. Yeah. It was a sight to behold. Way to go there, buddy. Dead. Anyway, yeah, that was a great thing. You painted her an Oyasumi Poon Poon painting.
Yeah, which she loved, which I was nervous about. I got her 3 gifts because like I wasn't sure what she would like, and I'm always like I think too much about that shit. And so I ended up getting her way too much, and then she ended up loving the painting anyways. I was like, I could have got her just that. Right. It would have been fucking fine.
You got me, because, oh, by the way, I've decided that for all occasions, all holidays, all birthdays, my gift is lunch. For everyone.
Yeah.
I've got a one-size-fits-all gift because it's self-serving. I get to take people to lunch, and I love going to lunch with people. So, like, you know, I get to have people go to lunch with me, and I'm willing to pay for people to eat with me just because I want to eat with people, you know? And so, like, it's like, oh, it's your birthday? Let me take you to lunch. It's Christmas? Let me take each of you to lunch individually, you know? I'm not going to take Trevor to lunch because we all pitched in to fly him out here. Which that's another thing that happened. We all pitched in and flew Trevor out here for the holiday season.
Yeah.
Because Trevor, who was down in Florida, he was gonna have to stay with his grandparents in between semesters, because you know he's living at school in the dorms, and his grandparents don't have internet. And he was just gonna be like bored and lonely on the holidays, so we were like, yeah, whatever. We'll buy him a plane ticket. And so me, Victor, Donson, and Boyd, I think just the 4 of us pitched in, flew him up here. He's up here now, though he's not at our house at this very second. So, but we probably we'll probably do a let's play with them before long.
Yeah.
Expect more Trevor content soon.
TrevCon.
Yeah, the TrevCon goes on.
The TrevCon content.
But Victor got me. We went to FYE and there was like buy 2 get 1 free on anime DVDs, and I was like, look, just pick out 3 things that you think I've never heard of, and get me those.
Yes.
So Victor got me. He got me the last DVD of Human Crossing, which I actually have heard of. Apparently, that's a pretty good show, from what I've heard. It's like a realistic drama type show, like a very adult, like
it looks super cheesy, like soap opera drama to me. On the box,
that's how
which
it
is
looks.
why I bought it.
But it's got like almost Naoki Urasawa looking character designs, like very realistic faces type thing.
Very real.
And then you got the first DVD of the Moby Dick anime adaptation.
Yes. Which looked fucking rad.
The funny thing is, like, I haven't I hate this. This is my least favorite part of the whole game, by the way.
Why?
That it like telegraphs to you like, okay, one room is 4 candles that are in order. The other room is 4 things you have to hit in the same order as the candles, but the camera just shoves them all in your face, like, here's the order to do them in, and it's like, oh, I guess I know now, like,
dude, shut the fuck up.
I didn't have to solve anything. And then he fucking reinforces it even further.
I wonder if they added that.
What are you, a baby?
The Wii U version.
Anyway, fuck, what was I talking about? Right, yeah, the Moby Dick anime, which I had not, like, specifically heard of, but I I knew of its You definitely did them out of order because they keep changing. Like, each one would be lighting up.
That was the order, though.
They should stay lit, though. Are you sure it's not the other back one that's number 2?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know then.
Hold on.
That one was definitely number 1.
It just goes out immediately.
No, you have to boomerang them, not fucking this. Because I have to hit them all in
oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. First episode of DVD of Moby Dick, which I've, like, relatively aware of because I looked at it and I immediately thought this looks like a 70s Osamu Dezaki show. That's exactly what it is. But it looks...
Ooh.
I thought it looked exactly like Takadajima, and so I thought it was that, and I was trying to find evidence of that, but I think it's just a different show. So, yeah, Moby Dick anime. And then the third thing you got me, I cannot even explain... It's definitely not anime.
Yeah.
It's called Alien Adventure. It looks like it's from the makers of Food Fight. That's the best way I can describe it. It looks as bad as you could possibly imagine.
Yes.
It looks like it's probably the worst thing
real
ever.
Bad. It looks like the music video of, like, the I'm Blue.
I don't think I know that music video, but the back of the box blurb was fucking hilarious. It seems to it's like hyping up this movie, but it's also kind of making it sound like it's really bad, and they know that because it says something like, "You have no idea what you're in for" at the very end, and I'm like, oh. So yeah,
nope.
I'm excited to check it out. Anyway, next time on Digi Bros might be like the last-ish episode.
I don't know.
We're close.
I don't remember how to initiate this Phantom Ganon fight. Sweet.